Hello doodlers! Today we're going to do painting on the edge of the paper. I've created one for you over here that I won't paint, but it'll be on the website for you. And this is the one that I'm going to paint for you, and I'm just going to ink it in today. I'm using two new pens. One you can get at your local office supply store, and you're going to have to excuse me, my other permanent pen blew up on my hand, so I have kind of black hands. This one is called a Uniball Vision Fine, and it's a waterproof, fade-proof pen. I picked mine up at Walmart. Not my favorite place to shop, but it's not horrible. Anyway, they came two a pack for like $4, I believe it was. And it is a really nice pen to watercolor with, and it comes in bold, fine, and extra fine, I think. I don't know if there's a medium, but I've seen the bold, fine, and extra fine. This one is a fine. Also, I ordered this off, it's a Pilot marker off of Jet Pens, and it has a, what is called a feud tip. It's basically like a marker tip. And I refill this one. It comes with a cartridge, and I refill it with that black ink I have been telling you about, and that's one reason I have ink all over my hands right now. It'll wash off, but it takes a while to kind of wear off, then wash off. Okay, so what I've done today is I wanted to stick to a swirl theme, but I didn't want it too florally, so this is what I came up with. And actually, after we do this, you could cut around the shape if you wanted to make a fancy edge on one of your journals. You don't have to, it's not necessary. You can just paint it in if you want, but I will show you that option. I'm going to start just drawing in. You know, as far as keeping a sketchbook, I do keep a sketchbook, and a lot of these ideas come from keeping a sketchbook, seeing different things that, oh, I want to try that shape or that image. That's mainly what I use my sketchbook for. This feud tip gets real thick if you push on it. I pushed on it right there so you could see. It's not like a fountain pen where the flexible nibs or a brush nib where you can get real thick and back to thin again. It keeps about the same thickness, just a little bit thicker if you push. So I'm not going to push very hard here, and then I'm going to push hard here, and you'll see that I get a little bit thicker, and you can tell that this is a little bit thicker than this. So there's a little bit of a varied line. I like the pen tip because I tend to like marker tips better than like ballpoint tips. And you know, that's a personal thing. You might find that you like something totally different than I do, and that's great. I just give you these options to try, and you can decide for yourself. I'm keeping the swirl areas real bold, and now I'm going to switch over after I get these two. I'm going to switch over to the thinner pen. This does not go to a thin line. It's pretty bold, so just be aware of that. If you don't like bold lines, it's probably not the pen for you. When you get it for the first time, it's sort of thin. It lays down a nice juicy line with that ink though, and I like that. It's kind of funny, my preferences on pens and paints change over time. There aren't many pens that I haven't tried. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the Uniball. And you see that the fine tip is smaller than the Feud, but it's not real fine. It says it's fine, but I would think that the extra fine, if you're really wanting a fine line, go with the extra fine option. I really like being able just to grab it. Writes a lot like a ballpoint, and I don't necessarily hate ballpoints, but they kind of stumble around. Actually, this is a ballpoint. Huh, it's not a felt tip. I was thinking it was a... Never mind. It is a... That's probably why it's called Uniball. Hello, I'm catching up, everybody. Okay. The ballpoint pen tends to need a little bit of dry time as far as on watercolor paper. If you'll see right here, I made the tip of these shapes smaller, and when I ran my hand across it, you can barely see a shadowing that I ran my hand through. So I'm going to switch back to the other pen for the bubbles. The dots. You can still use your Sharpie. Your Sharpie works fine. I tend to use my Sharpie a lot, and I have misplaced it and didn't want to worry about that too much. It's really not the tools you use, because you're going to find the tools that you like the best. It's just getting out there and playing in your journal or playing on paper, and you'll get better and better at what you do. And hopefully it's a relaxing, fun experience for you, because that's what it should be. Since I'm going to cut this side off, I'm going to give myself a line to paint to. And I really don't want to worry about that swoop getting cut off and being real flimsy, so I'm going to just cut into it and leave it at that instead of cutting into it all the way. Alright, I'm going to let this dry for a couple seconds because of the ballpoint, but then I'll be back to paint.